Welcome back to the IE427 garage, everyone. Today I'm going to work on getting all of the little items taken care of on the car that we need to not only get done before we go get the finished body put on the car, but also that we need to take with us over to Miller's so that he has everything that he needs, and we have everything we need, in order to get the body put back on the car and then bring it back here to our shop. So that's going to involve taking off some of the bulb seal that we had previously installed on the car, which was the old bulb seal that was under the body. So we'll take off those pieces that are the old stuff and we'll replace that with new. We're going to put together all of the different components that we need to take with us. The hood hinges, the door hinges, the door latches, the hood latches, the trunk latch, the trunk hinges. In this case, they're the exterior hinges for the trunk versus the new Mark IV trunk hinges which mount underneath. And so all those things we're going to go through and point by point make sure that we have everything that we're going to need in order to get this body put back on the car and then get it back to our shop so that we can start doing the final assembly on it. One of those things that we're going to have to make sure we have, and I know we have it because I've been storing it inside the race car trailer, is the windshield. Normally we don't take the windshield with us, and actually we're taking the existing windshield with us, and more so just so that we can transport the car back here to our shop with the hardtop. I'm not sure if we're bringing the hardtop back or not, but I want to make sure that we have the windshield just in case. If in fact Jeff is still working on the hardtop, what we'll do is we'll go back a week or so from now when he's all finished with it, and we'll just throw that in the van and then we'll bring it back here to the shop. But I don't know if he's got the whole package ready for us, or he will have it ready for us when we're out there or not. So we're just going to play that one by ear. But next we're going to just start putting together everything we need and changing out that bulb seal. Alright, next day I am going to get you guys all caught up on what I did when I got home from work today. I went ahead and I started putting all of the bulb seal, replacing it actually. A lot of the bulb seal was already on the car, but it was the stuff that was on there when we received the car, and so it was tattered and it was pulling away from the actual clip portion of it. The rubber bulb part of it was pulling away from the clip portion of it. And so we had only left that on there or refitted in areas that we knew the body would have contact when we were doing the work over at Jeff Miller's to get it ready for paint. So now that it is getting ready to go get the body put on for final assembly, I'm replacing everything on the car that isn't new. Some of the stuff that was on it is new, some of it wasn't, but I had Michael order a roll of the bulb seal so that we'd have plenty of it so we could go and replace each and every piece that was on the car. So let me turn you guys around. I'll show you exactly what we replaced, what we replaced earlier because it was either missing or broken, and then what other things we've done today before I head in for supper. All right, so here you go. All of this right here is all new. I had used the old stuff for this and this when it went to Miller the last time. We pulled that off. It's all new. This was all new when we took it to Miller for the initial body fitment, and then this was new. This piece has been replaced. You'll notice I have to cut this portion out. It doesn't look like I'd have to cut it out from the outside, but if we go to the inside, you'll see that that's where the battery box is. And so there just isn't room there. So this will compress when the body goes on, and it'll take that gap up. This back piece along here was new when we took it to Miller's, because that piece got destroyed when we pulled the body off of the car the first time. All of this is new, all the way down to here. This is all new. This was new when we took it to Miller the first time, and this is new and was here when we took it to Miller the first time. All of this is new. Everything across the front of the car is brand new. If you remember, we put a brand new firewall on the car, and so this was new when we took it to Miller the first time for initial body fitment. I went ahead and I put the foam tape across the 3/4 inch tubes going to the front of the car on both sides. So that is in. And then the last thing that I was working on before I picked up the camera was the Bureau of Auto Repair SPCNS number and the Factory 5 plaque. I think what I'm going to do on the SPCNS number is I'm actually going to mount it just exactly where it was before. It doesn't make sense to move it. It was right here. So it was right here in this location here. I think all I'm going to do is just move it down a little lower so that it can be viewed when the body's on the car. It really doesn't matter. You just want to make sure that thing is just paper, everybody. So if you're in California, make sure you don't use any solvents or anything to wipe down your firewall, because if you wipe past and over that thing, you'll take all the lettering right off of it. I know some guys have fashioned plexiglass covers for them. My only fear was with that is if you do use some type of solvent, it'll still get behind there, and then it'll just wipe out the sticker. So it's just better to be careful and not get anything on it, because those are like gold. You can't replace those. They do not issue new ones. So we'll put that in probably tomorrow. And I think we're going to Miller's this coming Friday, which is just a few days away. And then the plaque, I think the Factory 5 plaque, which is this one right here, I think where we're going to mount that, I haven't decided yet. I thought about putting it on top of the driver's foot box. I think that's where it was before. But I'm tempted to just put it on our cover right here. Because that way, anybody can view, they can view what the actual frame number is or whatever when the hood is open, and it just gives that, it lets everybody know it's a Factory 5. I mean, most people that know Factory 5s know what a Factory 5 is, so that's not a huge issue, but I think that's where we're going to put it. I might see Michael in the next couple of days, so maybe I'll ask him where he wants it, but I think that's it for tonight. I'm going in for my evening feeding, and I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. Alright, so sometimes you have to venture outside of your comfort zone, so I'm listening to my which station is this? My Disturbed station, and the song that we just paused is a song called Let You Down by Seether, which I've never heard of them. It's actually pretty good. I like it. What we're doing now is we're getting the last few things ready to go with Michael's car down to Jeff Miller. I do have his car on the battery tender right now. I've seen a lot of discussions lately about battery maintainers and people wanting to call them trickle chargers. And trickle chargers are old technology. I don't know of a lot of companies that actually sell traditional trickle chargers anymore that just put a constant voltage out all the time. We like the battery tenders from the Deltrans company, not a paid endorsement. I've just had better luck with them. I tried, if you remember, on Michael's car, another brand. I don't remember what it was. But we've tried the Schumacher chargers in the past. They work really well. We've also tried the ones from Harbor Freight. What are they? Oh, God, I can't remember the name that they're using now. But it looks remarkably like the Schumacher charger, meaning the way you scroll through in order to select the battery type and everything. But so we've got his on the battery maintainer. And we've got a green light, so everything's cool. But I do like to keep the cars in the shop on the battery chargers, because it just keeps the batteries topped off. And you know, if you look through some of my videos or our videos on you know, like changing out the batteries on the truck and stuff like that, we've had really good longevity out of most of the batteries that we use. So I can't complain. Anyways, I told you before, by the way, it's the next day. I'm in one of my work shirts for the construction company, but I told you yesterday, I do believe, that we've got a box of bulb seal and whatnot. Those pieces will all go with us over to Miller's for the trip, and I just double checked with him. He's been held up just a little bit, and so rather than Friday, we're pushing it to Monday to give him a couple extra days to get the car ready. And again, just to remind you guys, we are not going to be picking up the hardtop at the same time. We'll be going back for that at a later date, probably a week to 10 days later. So this is what I've got going on the workbench right now. I went upstairs and I started putting together all of the different parts that we're going to need to finish up Michael's car. Some of this is stuff that we need to finish. Some of it is stuff that Jeff is going to need to get the car put back together at his shop. These two items here are the old wheel center that someone made a half-hearted attempt at putting a new sticker on. We have a new AC sticker that we're going to put on the steering wheel center. And then Michael bought a Ford Motorsports or Ford Racing cap cover that resembles his valve cover trim plates. Let me go to the other side, see if we can get a better view of that, because I really like the way these valve covers turned out. The contrast between the polished aluminum and the blue powder coat that we did. So he's got a cap that goes on this cap to finish off the look. And so I dug this one out from upstairs. It's in really good condition. I don't remember what project this was from, but for whatever reason, we didn't go with this cap. And so in the interim, I had bought this one for Michael's car because I thought it was very minimalist and just blended in more so than the yellow print on this. So we'll be taking that one off, and then he is supposed to bring me the new Ford Racing cover for this one. So hopefully that'll be here in the next week or so. So those are two things that I pulled down from upstairs. While I'm here, we did go by the powder coaters this morning, and we picked up a load of stuff for the 25th anniversary car, Pauline. We've got the fuse box panel here, and then we've got the trunk hinges, and we've got all of the hood hinges. Now I'm going to keep those wrapped up for safekeeping because I don't want to get any scratches in them, so they'll probably just go upstairs with the rest of the parts that we have for Pauline, and we'll just keep them packed away until we need them. So about the same time that Pauline goes for paint, we'll unwrap those and we'll clearance all the holes so all the hardware and everything fits in them, because the powder coating makes all the holes smaller, and so then you have some issues putting all that stuff in. And rather than doing that at Jeff Miller's, I just choose to do it here, and so it cuts the time that we have to spend at Miller's doing that kind of stuff. So in the box, we have a 3-lock set that we're going to be replacing the 3-lock set that was on Michael's car previously. The handles for the trunk and the hood were pitted. They're still in relatively good condition, but like I said, they do have pitting. So they could be stripped and they could be re-chromed. So we're going to take those with us. That's a full set with the set of keys I had upstairs. For any of you that know, I'm the guy that buys all those parts when people put them for sale at the end of their build, and then I hold on to that stuff and I use it for like this. So we also have a brand new set of door latches, and we have already modded these. We have removed the secondary spring in them. I'll see if I can pull one of those out. So as a for instance, there is a primary and a secondary spring in these for the actual latch mechanism, which allows the handle to do this. So that secondary spring is behind the cover right here. I'm not going to take this apart because I can't do it with one hand. There's a secondary spring external that mounts to the backing plate and then to the handle. And we remove that secondary spring because, as you can see, the primary spring is more than enough to keep this thing in position. The other thing we do is we go ahead and we lube the inside of this thing so it works really well and smoothly. The last thing we do to the latch is when this is in the full open position as delivered, it's going to be tough to do this with one hand, a portion of that pin sticks out. And so what we do is we file that pin until it is smooth with the backing when the latch is in the full open position. And that just allows the doors to open and close and operate a whole lot better. So we've got that. That's all done. We have a set of hinges for the trunk. And for those of you that don't know, have only been exposed to the Mark 4s and after, this is what the Mark 3s and before had. They were an external mounted trunk hinge. And so these are what Michael's car uses. We bought a brand new pair of these, and so those will be going on the car. So I'm taking those with me to Miller's. We have all of the hardware for the hood hinges. So there's two bags. One has all of the shoulder bolts, the carriage bolts, the nuts, and then the pins for the hood struts. And then in the other bag, and don't ask me why, the other side of the pins for the hood struts, and then all of the pop rivets and the bronze bushings. So we've got those. Since we're on the hood hinges, I have all of the hood hinge pieces. These all went to the powder coater after I cleaned up all the sharp edges, and then once they came back from the powder coater, I clearanced all of the holes. So all the shoulder bolts will go in, and so all of the bronze bushings will fit in. There is nothing worse than getting to Miller's and finding out these things won't go together because there's too much powder coat built up in all of the holes. So we clearance those here at the shop. And then, of course, we have the hood struts, which Miller will mount. The trunk struts will mount here in our shop. I'm not going to bother Miller with those. These are all the secondary body fasteners for the Mark 3s and befores. So in here, we've got some stainless steel button head Allen machine screws, washers and nuts, and those will mount the front of the car to the chassis. And then we have the same machine screws that will mount the sides of the body to the chassis. And those bolts go into these clips. These are like speed nuts, and they just clip on to the chassis. Now, I already have 4 brand new ones on each side of the car, so a total of 8, and I'm bringing 2 more of these with me because they have a tendency to want to cross thread if they're not perfectly lined up when you go to put those bolts in. So I always bring a couple extra when we're doing a Mark 3 or before so that we don't run into issues. So that's about it. The only other thing that I've got in here is I've got a couple of bolts that we will be using for the rear mount. This car is not getting quick jacks, it's getting bumpers. And so, this is a long drawn out explanation. Basically, for one of these bolts, I'll end up using all thread. I won't use the bolt. And that's going to be this lower bolt on the passenger side because it runs right into the gas tank. It's this bolt right here. And so you almost have to take this bolt and send it in from the gas tank side out to get the bumpers mounted, and it's just a royal pain in the neck. The one up here can actually come in through the top, through the opening for the fuel pump and out, and the other two, both the bottom one and the top one, the bottom one misses the tank, and then the top one comes through the trunk, through our drop trunk mod right here. So those 3 are relatively easy to get to. They're not well, they're not easy, but they're not so hard that you're going to be pulling out your hair putting them in. So I've got just about everything put together for Michael's car, other than loading the boxes into his trunk and then putting the car into the trailer. So I think I'm going to end the video here. If you guys have any questions about any of this stuff and how we do it or why we do it this way, just put those questions down in the comments or email us at the Gmail address, and I'll answer your questions. And I think that's it. So until next time, if you're enjoying the content, please do the like, the share, the subscribe. You can hit the notification bell. It's not for me, it's for you guys. And we'll see you guys all next time. Have a great day.